Your weather alert going to continue through today, but it's less for that severe potential. With the rain we're continuing to see and the clouds we have around, we can't destabilize the atmosphere enough for severe storms. So the severe thunderstorm threat has pretty much diminished over our area. But with the rain around, that has increased the localized flash flooding concern for our area, which is why that weather alert is going to stay in effect through the rest of today.
2 to 3 inches of rain already in Charleston, Huntington for today. And we're certainly not done. These numbers are going up quickly. That low slowed down. We started noticing this trend here yesterday, and it really held true. So there was no momentum to carry this front through. The front came in with the rain this morning, and it's basically stalled. So there's been basically no break in the rain. And so instead of seeing 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, we've seen 3, 4 inches of rain. And it continues to pour out there right now. It is nasty. So really just stay inside. There's a lot of standing water, a lot of low-lying roads that have flooded out. Now that it's dark, definitely don't want to be out there. That's a dangerous situation.
So flooding safety tonight, and also for tomorrow morning as well. If you encountered a flooding roadway or an area where the road is wet and puddled over, do not try to drive through it. Turn around, don't drown, okay? Especially at nighttime, you cannot tell how deep that water is. Just a couple feet of flowing water can knock your vehicle into a dangerous position.
Eyewitness News starts right now with breaking news.
Good evening, and thank you so much for staying up with us tonight. Flooding hitting people all across our region. We start in Lincoln County, where 150 students at Lincoln County High School and Duval Pre-K through 8th grade are now buckling down to stay the night in their schools.
And here's what we know so far. The students are stranded because bus routes are not safe enough for them to be taken home. Now, in a post from Lincoln County Schools, they said the students are supervised, fed, and preparations are being made for them to stay at the schools overnight. Now, we are told school employees are monitoring the surrounding roads and the weather forecast. I spoke with Superintendent earlier, and here's what he told me.
All things considered, it's going fine. We have staff members with the kids. We've been supervising them, and we fed them and, you know, kind of kept them occupied, hoping that this thing will, the water will recede and we'll have an opportunity to go home. But right now we're preparing as if that's not the case. Just, you know, if we have to keep them overnight, that's what we'll do. We've been very fortunate. You know, we've been talking to 911 and local businesses have pitched in and churches are pitching in, community members. So we got great people down here. They always step up when we're in need.
Now, here's what we've seen so far from Lincoln County High School. Here's a look at the situations. Now, you can see the kids look like they're doing okay right now. You can see they're just kind of hanging out there in the cafeteria. They're even being fed well. They have some pizza tonight to munch on. Also, they're prepared for the morning. They have cereal, boxes of milk, also maybe some Chef Boyardee there for lunch tomorrow. Also, they're just kind of hanging out. They have cots that they're going to sleep on tonight when it's time to go to bed, and they're taking advantage of a free gymnasium, throwing some hoops, and also they're playing a game of Clue as well as Monopoly. So it looks like they're in good hands tonight. Also, our team is only minutes away from the scene and will bring us a live report as soon as it's safe to do so.
Daniel Burbank joins us live near Greenbrier Street, where another person had to be rescued. Daniel, what's going on? What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that she's doing okay. She's a little shaken, but I mean, if you take a look at the water behind me, this is exactly what the situation is in many parts of Kanawha County, where these smaller creeks, they're overflowing onto the roads, and just the fast-moving water, just a matter of 2 inches, is enough to float some of the cars. And just in this situation, it might be a little bit dark, a little bit hard to tell, but this car, you know, the person was okay. They were rescued. They said their wife, you know, was able to rescue them in their other pickup truck. And so we have seen drivers try and come through here. Some have turned around. Some have felt brave enough to go through. I can tell you the water definitely receded, you know, in the past 2 hours or so. This is why emergency responders are saying if you're not sure how deep the water is, turn around, don't drown.
Continuing to track some of your river levels this morning, the Mud River in Hamlin in moderate flood stage right now, and that is continuing to rise there. Already seeing, again, those 150 students trapped at school still this morning. You just heard from Anthony Kahn just recently. They're still dealing with some issues over there. Had a hard time even getting down into portions of Lincoln County because of all the flooded spots. Also, the Mud River at Griffithsville in Lincoln County dealing with still minor flooding this morning. And anytime you have high water from the Mud River in Lincoln County, that flows down downstream into the Mud River in Cabell County, and that causes issues in Milton. So minor flooding already for the Mud River at Milton this morning. That's likely going to cause some issues for Route 60 in Barbersville later today, if not already. And then the Coal River at Tornado, it's an action stage right now, already flooding over some surrounding roads, but later today it was likely going to reach a moderate flood stage, so conditions only going to get worse there. Some roads to watch: the Coal River, it being a moderate flooding later today. Coal River Road, Farrell Road, Smith Creek Road, already dealing with high water, but again, it's only going to get worse there as the water levels of the Coal River Tornado continue to rise. And then the Mud River creating some minor and moderate flooding concerns in Lincoln County. You can actually see Lincoln County surrounding roads of the Mud River dealing with significant issues in Hamlin, Griffithsville area, and then Route 60 in Barbersville. Again, that could create some high water. So the Coal River, Mud River, yeah, we're watching those two for really the more serious flooding concerns this morning, but you can still see most of our viewing area under a flood area warning here. Flood area warning just means a large area. There is numerous road closures due to high water within this flood warning, so please, please, please use caution. Even if you don't live near a body of water, you're likely going to encounter some standing water, some ponding on the roadways. You could hydroplane, so drive slow. I can't urge that enough.
Eyewitness News anchor Anthony Kahn has been on the scene since the overnight hours, monitoring what's happening with those children and staff members stuck in their school buildings overnight. Anthony, what's the situation now?
Yeah, Jennifer, a lot happening today in Lincoln County. We're seeing a lot of people testing this floodwater right now. Some people able to make it through, others choosing to turn around. We just saw a car a few moments ago get stuck in that water, and you can see there some people are trying to help push it out. It was a little further up, actually. Someone came and really tried to help there. We actually saw it first when we were sitting here prepared to do this live shot and ended up calling Lincoln County 911. They've come out and trying to help here, but it looks like at least they're at least getting out of the bad part of that water, thankfully, because this has been a really big issue here on Route 3. This is just right outside Hamlin there. The Mud River has really come up here, as it usually does when we get all of this rain. Now, and this is the reason that a lot of kids were overnight at their schools, because you wouldn't want to send school buses out in this. School buses would not be able to pass this. We also have some video from earlier today of other parts of Route 3 that we were on. Lincoln County had to make 3 water rescues, not including the one we're even talking about right now, but 3 over the last 24 hours. And a lot of the kids that were staying overnight in these schools are from the Griffithsville area. And we had students staying at Lincoln County High School, Hamlin K-8, as well as the new Duval School, which is just the county board office over there. And we spoke with the superintendent, Jeff Kelly, about the decision to do this and also how everyone's been holding up, because students, staff, and administration have been there for more than 24 hours.
Kids are unfazed by these things these days. They just I think they just kind of go with the flow. In fact, some of our younger kids asked if they could stay again tonight. And I said, well, not if we can help it. But, our people are tired, though. I mean, a lot of them, like I said, they've been in here 28 hours running, and it's not like they got a night of sleep of 6 or 7 hours. A lot of people are going, on 2 or 3 or maybe less hours of sleep. So, but our people are great, and they always step up.
So staff and administrators doing everything they can to help these kids as they stay in these schools, keeping them fed and entertained over last night into today. Now, about 50 of those 150 kids have been picked up since last night. Parents have kind of come in periodically over the last few hours to try to brave the elements and pick up their kids. There's still around between 70 and 100 kids still left at those 3 schools. The superintendent says he's not quite sure yet when they'll be letting everyone out. It'll kind of depend on these weather conditions right now, because it's really coming down as far as snow right now. It used to be rain that was the issue. Now we're seeing, as we've been talking about here with our meteorologist, Eyewitness News, it's now getting cold out here, which might pose a new problem. We'll keep you updated as they bring more updates for the community here in Lincoln County. For now, live in Hamlin, I'm Anthony Kahn, Eyewitness News.
Our coverage continues on this weather alert day in Mingo County. Crews this morning were rescuing people from homes affected by by a massive mudslide in the Ragland area. Let's take a look at this. It happened around 5:40 this morning. We're learning that multiple homes here were moved by the slide, and train cars with coal were knocked off their tracks. We got this video just back from the scene minutes ago. We spoke to the Mingo County Circuit Clerk Lonnie Hanna about how he was pitching in to help with the cleanup. He said they were working to get the road cleared to make way for any emergency vehicles that had to go through.
A major mudslide in Ragland this morning, which has left several families without a home. It also derailed a parked train and sent coal into the creek. The West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection says it was caused by a ditch failure at the coal mine on the top of the mountain. Eyewitness News reporter Anna Saunders takes us to this disaster tonight.
A firefighter on scene tells me he has never seen anything like this, and despite all of the damage, he's calling it a miracle that no one was hurt.
It was 4:30 this morning. That's when Sarah Jackson, who was standing outside, watched a mudslide destroy her home.
I was out on my dad's porch. I heard like a big boom about 4:30 this morning, and I looked, and then there was my house coming toward me because there was like a big rock slide come.
Her house taking the brunt of the mudslide, but the debris trapped one family in their home next door, and water and mud entered the next. The mudslide pushed a parked Norfolk Southern train and pushed 3 rail cars full of coal on their sides. The train was derailed, sending coal into Rock House Creek.
When I arrived on the scene, there was the god-awfulest mess I ever saw in my life.
The DEP says this was caused by a failure of a sediment ditch berm at the Colmac coal mine at the top of the mountain. The DEP issued an imminent harm cessation order that requires the mine to open access to the community, make all repairs, and get everyone a safe place to stay. I'm told by neighbors this happened in 2021, but not to this magnitude.
Truthfully, I was wondering if I was going to lose everything. And I was wondering about my neighbors.
No one was injured. Crews did have to work for hours, though, to get to the neighbors who were trapped in their home, but they, too, were uninjured.
We had to use the excavator, which we transported them on top of the excavator back to safety.
What's left is a giant mess as Mingo County Circuit Clerk Lonnie Hanna, who lives in the area, worked to start moving some of the debris early in the morning before more crews arrived.
It's just bad. With so much rain, it's just bad. These mountains give way in water. Just have to take care of it.
Displaced residents will either be staying with family, or some have chosen to take up the coal mine's offer for a hotel.
Right now, I'm thankful to be alive. And thankful my neighbors are alive.
Now, I'm told by emergency officials that cleanup here could take months, especially repairing that railroad. In Mingo County, Anna Saunders, Eyewitness News.
Breaking news out of Fayette County, the body of an 11-week-old baby has been found following a search that started early this morning. And Daniel, the sheriff says deep floodwater created challenges during today's search.
The sheriff telling Eyewitness News, Gina, that the mother of the 11-week-old baby just misjudged how deep the water was. And in fact, if you take a look just behind us, it's amazing when you still look hours and hours later after this, where water is still on the roadway. This is Paint Creek, and this is Paint Creek Road that has overflowed its banks. And so the mother had said that she tried to get to her baby and couldn't, and the car was swept away. And ultimately, the investigators and the water rescue team had to find the car, which was in 18-foot deep water. Now, take a listen to what the Fayette County Emergency Services Director said.
The car started to float at that time. She retreated to get help, and when she returned, the car had disappeared into the water. The problem is it's murky water, very muddy, and it's hard to see.
And as the rain turns to snow, it's definitely dropping here with the temperature, and so we can feel the wind picking up as well. And so driving on the roads is still not recommended, especially in this area. Live in Fayette County, Daniel Burbank, Eyewitness News.
Realize this, we've had more rain in inches Thursday into Friday than we've had snow all year. That is incredible. That stat coming from the National Weather Service there in Charleston. So yeah, 3.23 inches of rain just on Thursday and Friday morning.